Hello, everyone. This is going to be a message for Divine Masculine today. And boy, do we have a very impactful message in regards to your energy. So I am going to be reading for the masculine energy. So this is going to be directed towards you. However, this is also could be a cross watch for the divine feminines needing more confirmation, or this will find you just as a confirmation that this is the energy that this masculine is in. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking to you, masculine. So the numbers that you could heavily be seeing, of course, is 1111, and we'll tap into it. You're seeing a shitload of 1111, which we all do during a certain period of time that you're going through. And also the angel number 1212 is very significant to this divine counterpart pairing here. We'll tap into all of the necessities here. But the downloads that I was receiving in the car is to describe you a little bit. So they were showing me just a person kind of like scrolling on like reels. This could be like Facebook reels, Instagram reels of watching like funny videos, like you like a lot of comedy videos. They were giving me like Listen Linda and just like funny videos of like animals, like cats and dogs and things like that you like to do in your pastime. They were also giving me life of the party energy. And this could be and relates to, used to party a lot back in the day, because they were giving me the song Young, Wild, and Free by Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. However, there is a change in that energy. So that energy is going to be very significant to who you used to be. And I feel like you were even trying to entangle this energy even into adulthood as until recent. But there's a difference between that energy, okay, where you used to find comfort in that, where it was like like who cares if we smoke green, or who cares if we're partying, like we're just living life, young, wild, and free type energy. It's really giving like a non-toxic form of Knight of Wands energy. However, it could have gotten to like a little bit more negative aspects, but that's just who you portray yourself as a person, okay? And I know that like a lot of feminines like picking up in that energy, they could be like, oh my God, Knight of Wands, like that's a red flag, right? That's like player energy, F-boy energy. But in the sense of you, that's just how your personality is. You're very charismatic, you're very charming, you're very outgoing, but introverted at the same time. But like when you're around other people, you're very much life of the party energy. Okay. Also like comedian energy, like you're a very funny person. You love to make people laugh. You love to bring out the lighter sides of life. Okay. And I did want to just brush up on the young, wild, and free energy. So for this collective, for you guys to resonate, like you guys have went through a spiritual awakening. There's no coincidence to you at this point. I feel like the last time that I did a reading for you guys, like we've been picking up on that energy, that's what was going on. But it was like, I feel like you guys were more in the energy of not really understanding the process of what you were going through. Okay. And so it's kind of where you're at the point where there's no denying it. Like it's fully happening. You're kind of like breaking free of these chains. Okay. And I do feel like there's been a lot of like your guys' energy reflecting that, like, I'm not trying to live the fast life. All right. So maybe some of you guys used to like party and stuff, like, as to have a good time, but it was like the older that you were getting, maybe you were realizing that it actually turned into a form of masking, or it actually over time, it was getting you to repress your feelings, your emotions, really hindering all of your connections, seeing people for not who they truly were. And I feel like a lot of this had to deal with your spiritual awakening, right? So it's like you're starting to wake up. Your awareness is shifting. You're starting to see people exactly how they are. So maybe you found yourself with really toxic friends, or you found yourself in a really like karmic connection, like with another person. And that really helped you wake up and understand the journey. And they want me to say what your divine feminine was trying to show you all along. Okay. There is a really heavy energy of this being connected to the divine feminine. I feel like in regards to your energy, you're starting to realize more and more Like, you've always known that you deeply loved your feminine. However, you never felt that you were good enough. Maybe there was some like religious factors where they stepped into their spiritual awakening really early on in their spirituality and you didn't, right? So it was like really weird. You were like, okay, is this person going a little bit crazy? Is this person just obsessed with me? And type of energy. And now you're starting to have a deeper understanding that, in all honesty, you mirrored that exact energy, that intensity, that kind of like obsession energy, being obsessed with each other's energy, being deeply in love with each other. I feel like for a long time, because you kind of were driving out of the Knight of Wands, you could have thought that that relationship with your counterpart was a very lustful connection that was going to lead you to get your heart broken, right? Because when you first meet your divine counterpart, they open you up to all of this energy that you've never experienced before, all of these feelings and the depth of a soul connection, nothing that you've ever experienced. So in a lot of cases, that is initially what gets you guys to run, is because like it scares the living shit out of you, especially if you're typically a lighter energy, like not really looking for love, and it just smacks you right in the face. That's how a lot of these connections work, okay? Spirit also wants me to tell you guys that the sacral chakra is very significant right now. And where I feel like a lot of you guys could have been lust driven, like there's actually being a lot of repair done to the sacral chakra, okay? So there's like a deeper sense of understanding. There's a lot of healing going on right now. There's a lot of identifying people for exactly as they are and wanting to get out of those actual karmic situations now that you're awakened and you understand now. You actually understand the journey. You understand what I'm saying. And this is a beautiful process, okay? And everything will come with time. All right? Don't let anything block you. Whatever you know is not serving you, trust me, you're very divinely guided to find a way out of those situations. So don't feel like you're stuck, you're alone, or there's not going to be a way out. Like, God will make a way out because they're the ones who brought all of this to your awareness in the first place. Like, the timing is right for all of this to end and dissolve and for you to step into your purpose. Okay. And what Spirit's showing me for a lot of your guys' purpose is actually helping other people heal. This could be within addiction. This could be within motivational speaking, but a lot of you guys bring like this this sense of this comedian energy. So you really make people laugh. You bring out the lighter side in everybody. And I feel like you have a deeper understanding on this. You've always been an empath. You've always been an intuitive. And I feel like your gifts are really starting to like awaken within you. Everything is starting to make a more deeper sense of like why you're here, why you went through the things that you did, and like truly who you are. And you were just portraying who you truly were by masking your feelings and not showing people who you truly were. It was almost like you were scared of rejection, scared to dive deep within yourself, scared to show people your true authentic self. I always get Aquarius energy. So Aquarius energy can be very, very significant. We'll also pick up on the cards to just confirm that. A lot of fire sign energy too. Taurus, Capricorn coming through could be significant. The current energy channeled song that I got for you that we're going to start with being attached to this reading is Heavy by Linkin Park. And I think it's like Kaya or Kiera or something like that. So that's the energy that you feel, right? It's like you're in this enlightened period. You've went through this awakening, but everything around you feels so heavy. Confirmation. And I feel like the reason why everything feels so heavy is not to make you feel like you're stuck or you can't move anywhere, but it's just you're starting to feel everything for the first time. So I don't know if some of you guys maybe recently are on a path of sobriety and maybe had to go through some health issues, maybe some like withdrawal symptoms, and maybe like through this process of you stripping away this addiction, you started noticing like how addicted you really were to the form of using it as a mask, okay? Or a form of fitting in, maybe. But it's like now that you've had this enlightenment, so whatever this is, due to the spiritual awakening or due to like a path of sobriety, could be both for you guys. It's really allowing you to feel things that you haven't been able to feel for the first time. And I feel like that's why it feels heavy right now. The other song that I got that was very significant was Streets by Doja Cat. But I received it not in the feminine's energy, but in your energy towards the feminine. So that could be very significant. She talks about video games and Final Fantasy in that energy or in that song. So that both of those can be significant, or video games, highly significant. There is a massive important piece of that song, and I'll attach it in part 2.